Hello, this is Wmpyr. I'm going to walk you guys through the basic X pattern, but we're going to go from beginner all the way towards more advanced stuff, okay? And this is with single stick. So let's get started. The first thing is you're going to go ahead. The weapon is in the right hand, okay? And the right side is more forwards, okay? And I'm always going to start from the right side. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The left hand, most of the time, it's good to just keep it here, in front of the heart, okay? If you don't know what you're doing, it's just better to get it out of the way. Right here's a good place. And you don't want to be forgetting about it and just leave it dangling like this. No, so keep it right here, okay? Right in front of the heart. Okay, so from this stance, once again, we're going to be making an X. 1, 2, 1, and 2, 1, and 2. What you need to be working on is going through shoulder and shoulder. So when I make my X, see, I pass through the shoulder here, and I pass through the shoulder right there, here and here. I want to be able to see that line. So what that does is, if you can see right here, if I pass through my shoulder like this, and I pass through my shoulder over here, if I had two sticks, you can see right here that it roughly makes about a 90-degree perpendicular angle right here, okay? And that's your standard X, okay? So that's what we're looking for. Now, once you can see that and you can control that and you are consistently hitting the shoulder and you know, if you have a mirror, okay? So then the next thing is what I saw in an Escrima textbook. It was called the vector principle. Okay, so the vector principle is now you're going to change the angles. So we're going to go 1 and 2, 1 and 2. If you see this, it is an X, yeah, but it's very, very horizontal. And now compare that to this one. This is also an X, but it is very, very vertical, okay? So that's the vector, is that you can manipulate the angles. And you can't do that if you can't see the lines, at least not consciously. So that's exactly what you should be working on. Okay. So then, the next thing that we're going to go into is the full swings. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is you're going to go full swing. Make sure the stick ends up on the other shoulder like this. Okay. And I'm turning the shoulder so the shoulder's pointing towards you guys right here. Okay, again, so from here, I'm going to go full swing to where it parks right here, and here's my shoulder. And for number 2, boom, same thing. The stick goes all the way to the other shoulder, and now this shoulder, my left shoulder, is pointed towards you guys. So boom, right here, my right shoulder is pointed towards you guys. Boom, my left shoulder is pointed towards you guys. Okay, so I'm fully twisting and turning there. And in order for that to happen, your legs also have to fully twist and turn. Please raise your heel, because if you don't, you could hurt your knee. So right here, boom, when I do this, my right leg, the heel on my right foot is off the ground. And when I go this way, my left heel is off the ground. Okay, so doing this kind of training will make you practice your body shifting. That's what Professor Brian Frank calls this. And once again, getting that heel off the ground, okay? And this is a full follow-through. So the next one we're going to do is also a full follow-through, but without the twisting. So then it just looks like this, okay? Boom, right here, boom, park, boom, park, okay? So I'm going to start from one shoulder, end up on the other shoulder, one shoulder to the other shoulder, okay? And if you notice, I didn't turn, you didn't see my shoulders turn, okay? So it has less power, but like if I'm doing combos and stuff, I can attack, 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 and then when I'm ready, now I can put the shoulder in, and that's more of a finishing blow, okay? So you could combine them both together. So practice both, all right? Now, the next part, we're going to go back into the vectoring principle, what we're going to do right here is the X, you're making the X, boom, you're making the X, and now you're going to make it continuous and you're going to make it smoother. So then that takes us to a figure 8, like so. Okay, so now I'm making, instead of a choppy X, 1 and 2, now, see, it's continuous and it flows. See, this is a figure 8 now that I'm doing. And, like I said, we're going back to the vector principle, so you can angle, you can change the angle here, you can change different angles, or you can make it more compact like I'm doing right here. So please play around with that, okay? And this is probably like the halfway point right here, okay? So now the next part we're going to go into is a little bit more advanced, right? And we're going to go back to this X. And what I want you guys to do is make sure that you park it. So I come here, my number 1, and then I park it on the opposite shoulder. I do my number 2, park it on the opposite shoulder. So boom, park, boom, park. 1, park, 2, park. 1, park, 2, and park. Okay, why is this important? This is important because now what we're going to do next is we're going to put in the circles, the twirling. Okay, so here we go. For number 1, this is the motion that I'm making. Of course, I'm not parking right now. I'm just going back and forth just because it's easier to get reps this way. Okay, and when you do this, once again, right now, my left heel is up. When I come this way, my right heel is up. Left heel is up, right heel is up. Okay, and that's just to keep my knees safe. So anyway, I'm going back and forth, back and forth. I'm coming in this direction, so I just continue that direction. So I come back here. So this downwards motion is my focus. Okay, so yeah, I'm going back up just to reset. So I'm not thinking of that as a strike, or it is a strike, but I'm not working on that. I'm just working on this downwards motion. Here's my reset. Downwards motion, reset. So on the downwards motion, here's my circle, back. So on the downwards motion right here, I just continue that motion, and there's my loop, and then I reset. Here, reset. Here, reset. Here, reset. So I hope you guys can see that. Boom. I'm just continuing the motion, and it comes here, back, down, back, boom, back, boom, and back. Okay? I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side over here. So this side, 1, reset, 2, reset. So it's down, reset, down, reset, down, reset. So here's the circle, reset, circle, reset. So it's a loop, reset. Think of like a roller coaster, reset. So it comes down in this direction, and I'm just making a circle and continues on. So it goes like that. You guys have seen this roller coaster where it goes like that. That's exactly what I'm doing right here. Boom, and then reset. Boom, reset. Boom, reset. So now we're going to put those together. So on my number 1, I come here, and then after a circle, I park. Number 2, come here, and I park. Boom, park. Boom, park. Number 1, park. Number 2, park. 1, park. 2, and park. Okay. Now, the circle, some people just think it's for show or it looks cool, but these twirling moves, they have combative purposes. That's the way it was taught to me, that none of this is for show, everything is for combat. And when you hit something, there's a beginning, the actual hitting process, which is the middle, and then the end, okay? So when I go to hit something, there's the beginning, There's the actual contact, and then there's the end, the finishing. You could put a circle in any one of those three positions. So if I put the circle before I make contact in the beginning, then it builds momentum. Okay, so boom, I build momentum. When I put the circle in the middle, right when I hit and I make another circle, right there, hit, circle, that's a double hit. Okay, so you strike the object and then you start your circle. That results in a double hit. Okay, so right at the middle is a double hit. Just keep that in mind. The third position is after I hit, because I'm doing a follow through, I do the circle to come back into combo. So it's like power control. Okay, it's momentum control. So those are the three purposes. And it depends on where you put it. In the beginning, the middle, or the end. All right, so just keep that in mind. And please play around with that. So now we're going to go into something a little bit more advanced. Okay, so we did the twirling, and next we're going to go back to this X. Okay, back to the X right here. And when I do my number one, I'm going to end up here. Okay, and then park it. Do my number two, and I end up here. And then park it. Number one, here, park it. Number two, here, park it. So this position, both of these positions, in a lot of Escrima Kali Arnis forms, they might have this attack and this attack. It looks very similar. And the arm position is in a similar spot. Okay, so just think of that if you're having trouble with it. So right here, number one, and then you come here. Okay, park it. Number two, come here, and then park it. So what we're actually going to do with this is we're going to use it as a springboard for momentum. And anytime you start using momentum, momentum's pretty advanced. No matter what martial arts style it is, usually momentum is an advanced concept. Okay, so here we go. When we do the number one, boom, you see it's a springboard. Okay, and then that takes me to two, and boom. See, that's my springboard, and that takes me to one. Here to number two, boom. And I come right back here, and I spring up on it, and I come down. I spring up on it, come down. Spring up, down. 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 So if you guys have done this kind of motion, which is the fan motion, which is called abanico, that's essentially what you're doing here. Okay, so one, boom, come here, boom, come here, one, boom, two, boom, here. So you're just using that as momentum, boom, okay, to help you get an extra zing. Okay, next, even a little bit more advanced than that is we're going to use this, and now we're going to make circle. We're going to combine it with a circle. Okay, so right here comes in here, and then there you go. Here, and then come back right there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm going to try to do it slow. So as you come up here, now, as you spring up here, see, I spring up, and there's my circle. Spring up, circle, come over here, circle, boom, circle here, circle, circle here, circle here, circle here, circle, boom, boom, here. So it's kind of difficult for me to do slow, but I'm trying here. So right here, I spring, there's my circle, okay? Instead of just pulling it down, instead of spring and just pull it down, spring, circle, okay? Spring, circle right there. So instead of stopping it, I come over here, and this has a spring, and there's my circle. Spring right here, I'm using that spring, and that takes me into the same circle movement that we were doing before, which is this one. So we're just adding spring right there. Boom, right here. Boom, here. Boom, right there. Boom, like so. Okay, so anyway, that's it for now. Please have fun with that. I totally recommend that, especially for indoors, you go with a lighter stick, especially for this kind of skill. This is focusing really on skill here, skill development. You want a lighter stick, shorter, lighter stick. Not too short, because then you may not feel enough momentum, and with some of those moves, you might be like, oh, I don't feel anything. So then that's not good. But if it's too long, then it's going to be harder for you to wield, and you definitely want it on the lighter side. It's also safer for indoors, but you know, you don't want, because this stuff uses a lot of wrist and circular motions and stuff like that, and you could tire out your wrist, and it's easier to pull off the moves with a lighter stick. Right here, this is not the lightest stick I have, but you know, I thought maybe I might get criticized if I kept using a PVC pipe, so I went with something a little bit more closer to the traditional Escrima stick. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.